Female pregnancies are terminated specifically because they are female. Chimamanda Adichie speaks on gender-based violence. Nigerian author Chimamanda Adichie has said that women are the major victims of gender-based violence, and it starts from the womb. Chimamanda said this while giving a speech on gender-based violence when she spoke at the Digital Award presentation on 14 December 2020. The renowned author, who was awarded the African Freedom Prize 2020, stated that before birth, most of the pregnancies terminated are overwhelmingly female pregnancies, and they are aborted specifically because they are female. She pointed out that from the time they are born, baby boys are treated differently from baby girls. She also said baby girls are coddled while the boys are taught to be tough and not cry. She acknowledged that there is woman-on-woman violence and man-on-man violence, but said the majority of the cases of domestic violence is perpetrated on women by men. She added that men also suffer because of their gender. She explained that men are ashamed for not being financially rich, for showing weakness and for failing. Speaking further, she said a lot needs to change and suggested what this change should look like. Watch as she speaks on sensational issues on gender inequality. Like, share for more gifs. Follow our social media page, TV Africa on Facebook, at TV247 Africa on Instagram. And also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, TV Africa.
We say gender-based violence, but violence by whom? Yes, there are cases where women attack women and men attack men, but we must be forthright in addressing this ugly epidemic that it is overwhelmingly women who suffer violence from men. So here's a United Nations statistics. 137 women are killed by a member of their family every day. What it doesn't say is that it is nearly always a male family member. There are rape statistics that show anything from 30% to 70% of women who have experienced some form of sexual violence in different countries all over the world. But we know the statistics are wrong. We know the numbers are higher because we know there is still so much stigma attached to rape that so many women do not talk about it. We know from research, and I think most of us also know this anecdotally, that a baby boy and a baby girl are treated differently from the minute they are born. In fact, even before they are born, it is overwhelmingly female pregnancies that are terminated, specifically because they're female. And studies show us that as infants across cultures all over the world, girls get more hugs and more comforting, while boys are expected to cry less and are comforted less. As toddlers, we already expect boys to be tough and to suck it up and not to cry. So we start very early in our project of constructing the hard cage of masculinity. The problem is not that masculinity itself is bad. That is, masculinity being the idea of having certain expectations for men. The problem is what we have decided that masculinity must look like. We can make a choice as a society to do it differently. We can remake masculinity. And it starts with what we teach boys to be ashamed of. Our culture currently teaches men to be ashamed of weakness, to be ashamed of failure, to be ashamed of not being financial providers. What if we begin to teach little boys to be ashamed of different things? What if we construct a new masculinity? What if from childhood we tell boys that real men do not start fights? But if you bring a fight to him and you're his equal, he will beat you the hell up. What if we tell them that real men cry, that real men talk about emotions, that real men are honest and keep their word? And I am not talking about teaching them about chivalry, because chivalry's premise is female weakness. There are men today, grown men, who want to learn because nobody taught them these things. This is not to excuse men, but instead to challenge what seems to me a kind of inevitability that hangs over the way we talk about male violence against women. It doesn't have to be like this. It doesn't have to be the raging epidemic that it is. What if male cultural role models spoke about this, sang about this, celebrated this new masculinity?